In today's lesson, I'm going to talk about activity 1.3.6. We're going to talk about section, detail, and broken views. So you can see I have my tool holder up here. So we're going to go through a couple different views that we can do with this tool holder. First one I'm going to do is going to section view. This is going to be one of our most important. So I'm going to go up here, section view. I'm going to bring my cursor right here, and it's going to give me this little center line that you can see. I'm going to snap right in the center. And now I'm going to bring my view straight across. I'm going to click and snap. And you can see what it's done is right here, these lines with the A's, that's called my cutting plane. That's actually cut right through the middle of my object. And it's pointing in the direction that I'm looking. So I'm looking at this part. Now, if I zoom in, you're going to see all these little hatch lines. These are called section lines, and they represent the material. So what I've actually done is just basically I take a knife and sliced right through that component. This allows me to see the inside of the part, and it easily allows me to put dimensions on because you can see that I don't have any hidden lines on this part now. So I can go in here and I can dimension some of the insides of this part. If I need to know how deep that hole is, I can actually go and dimension how deep that hole is in there. So that is called a section view. The next one I'm going to show you is going to be a detail view. And that's right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to start right here. And this is for really fine detail work. But I'm actually going to bring this out to where my circles are. And I can bring this over here. Now, right now, the view is at 1 to 2. I can actually make this a little bit bigger if I want. So I can really see some detail in there, and I'll plop that in there. What this is good for is now I can actually go in and I can dimension these. So if I want to put some center marks on these, real quick, I can see my center marks. What I can do is I can go use this center line, and I can go from center point to center point. And I'll go from center point to center point. Now what that allows me to do is I now can go dimension, and I can click on those center lines. And it'll tell me the angle in between there. I also could actually go from center point down to center point, and I can dimension how far out from the original center that second circle is. So this allows me to put some detail work on here. If I want to go back in, I can find out the diameter of that hole, and then I don't have to go in and do it really over here where it's really, really small. The last one is just what they call a broken view. And that's what it actually looks like. Okay, and the broken view is this one right here. And I'm going to scroll up a little bit so you can see. I'm going to do a broken view right here. This is just going to like someone taking a big bite of an object. So I'm just going to start right here, and it's going to put these little round spline lines in for me. And what I'm going to do is there's my window. I'm going to go up here where it says entity, and I'm going to hit blind. And I can tell it how deep I want to put it. I'm going to leave it at 1 inch so you can see only part way through it. I could cut it all the way out, but I'm going to leave it at 1 inch. And I'm going to hit my green check mark. This will take a second. Okay. It will take a second to go. And now you can see that it looks like someone just took a big bite out of the side of my object. I can see in the inside of that, but now I can look, if I need to, I can actually see just little bits and pieces of the inside. Where section view, I'm seeing the whole inside. So those are my section view, my detail view, and my broken view. Very simple and very easy. The last two I'm going to show you, go to my OnShape, is going to be auxiliary view and break view. Auxiliary view is used when you have a slanted object and you have objects on that object and you want to show them in real good detail. So you can see that I have a couple holes drilled on this slanted surface here. So I'm going to open up my drawing. There's my drawing. And now you can see on my drawing that these aren't really looking like circles. They're more like ovals because I'm looking down at an angle on these. So what you're going to do is you're going to do an auxiliary view. And that's the third one in here, auxiliary view. I'm going to grab the slanted side where I know those holes are on, which is right here. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to bring up another view. Okay. And now you can see there's my circles. You can see that there are round objects and you can see right through them. So now I can go and dimension them and makes it a little bit easier. The last one is I'm going to bring in another object into this drawing. So I'm going to go up here insert view. I'm going to select insert, and I'm going to pick other document. I'm going to go to my OnShape. And let's see, where can I find my part? There's my other part. I'm going to bring this part in. Now I'm going to make sure this is at full scale. So this is at 1:1. And I'm going to zoom out so you can actually see how big this is. So you can see that this really doesn't fit on my drawing. I could make the scale smaller, but then it might make the end of my object a little bit smaller. So maybe I have a big, long, round rod. Maybe the rod's 4 feet, but it's only maybe a 1/4 inch in diameter. If I put it on there, it's going to look very, very small. So what I can do with this is I can use what they call a break view. And I can come over here and you can kind of see I have this little break line. I can click here and I'll slide it over. And I can click there. Now I can do this because this is consistent all the way through. Now I will tell you that this rod is 12 inches long. So now if you watch when I go to dimension it, I can go from end to end, and it is going to still give me the true dimension of that rod. Even though I broke it out, it's going to give me the true dimension of that rod. So those are auxiliary views and break views. And this is activity 136.